Robert Eugene Otto was born October 25, 1900, to a prominent family in Key West, Florida. In his youth, Robert was gifted a doll by the family's Bahamian maid. The Bahamian people were among the first West Indians to immigrate to the mainland U.S. in the late 19th century. This gift, seemingly innocent in remembrance, may have had a nefarious purpose, because it was said that the maid actively practiced voodoo, and the doll may have been retaliation of a wrongdoing. Robert named his new comrade after him and took his middle name of Eugene to be referred to from that point forward. Eugene brought his doll everywhere and talked about it in first person as a real, living entity with its own awareness. Eugene began to blame mishaps on Robert the doll, always placing blame on him. As Eugene came into adulthood, this blame game did anything but cease. Robert the doll stayed in the Otto family home at 534 Eaton Street in Key West while Eugene studied art in New York and Paris. Eugene met and married concert and jazz pianist Annette Parker in Paris May 3, 1930, before the two returned to their 3,700 square foot home in Key West. Annette disliked the doll from its introduction to her and her husband's obsession with it. Eugene preferred to do his painting in seclusion with Robert the doll by his side. Annette humored him and allowed the doll to be in the attic, but soon Eugene stated Robert was angry. Robert was requesting a room with a view. Annette put her foot down and refused to acquiesce to such a request. Eugene, despite his wife's disapproval, relocated Robert to the 7-windowed turret room. It was perfect for Robert because it overlooked the street. But soon after, school children reported seeing the doll on their way to and from school, moving about the room, disappearing and reappearing, and staring at them angrily. In tandem, Eugene's mood became an increasingly violent one. He had bouts of lashing out at Annette, then snapping out of it as if possessed. When questioned, his only retort was, "It was Robert. Robert did it." The doll's unworldly power and bad behavior grew stronger and stronger. A plumber who came by to service the house ran out in terror after hearing the doll laugh at him. Visitors to the Otto's home also started reporting Robert's facial expressions changing when you looked at him, mostly describing a stare of pure evil. In his 70s, Eugene Otto's health was steadily declining, and he locked himself in the turret room with his beloved Robert. He passed away June 24, 1974, with his childhood friend by his side. Annette fled the house soon after, abandoning Robert. She passed away 2 years later. The Otto's home, now known as the Artist House, was sold to Myrtle Reuter, who owned it for 20 years until the property was sold to its current owners, who now run it as a guest house, where it's been reported that Annette Otto's ghost haunts the turret room. Staff at the Artist House flatly refused to go into the turret room and the attic. In 1994, Robert the doll was donated to the East Martello Museum located at 3501 South Roosevelt Boulevard in Key West, the best preserved example of the Martello style of military architecture in the country. The museum was able to trace Robert's origins to the Steiff Company, in operation since 1880, and maker of the first teddy bear. A Steiff historian stated Robert was most likely never intended to be sold as a toy and was probably part of a set fabricated for a window display of clowns or jesters. Robert's sailor suit that he still wears today never came from Steiff and was probably an outfit of Eugene's as a child. Visitors to the East Martello Museum still report strange happenings around Robert the doll, from his face changing, sounds of giggling, footprints around his display case appearing, and misfortune if Robert is disrespected or not asked directly to take his picture. Robert receives emails and letters daily, asking forgiveness for guests' bad luck since visiting him. In-house guests leave him candies and money. A psychic stated after encountering Robert that his soul is slowly dying, and his hair has progressively been turning white as he grows older.